So I am back in one of my favorite cities. Mexico City.
Soy del país que no se raja, papá. Del mariachi la baraja, de esa tierra soy. Donde crecen los nopales. La de piel color canela, la que viste de guarache, de sombrero y que canta. La que celebra la muerte, la que...
Es un orgullo ser mexicano.
First things first, you want to start your day off with the coffee. So this is going to be awesome for you coffee lovers. This café de olla is made in a ceramic pot mixed with water, coffee, and cinnamon. Another easy and must-do thing while in Mexico City is getting the infamous taxi cab, which are the white and pink taxi cabs that you are not gonna miss. It's always a unique experience talking with each and every driver, especially if you're able to communicate well in Spanish and understand the lingo. And or just having a walk around the central area, which is called El Zócalo. You are surely to be fascinated by the architecture and the buildings that are decorated and are running business. Definitely not gonna miss and not gonna run out of street vendors. Everything from French fries, like you're seeing here,
Tacos made out of
to
wine.
tacos and just about everything. You're always gonna find street vendors out there, and believe me, they are very good and very cheap. A town with a bad rep, which is Tepito, for crime, but if you go there early, you will find infamous amounts of streets with vendors. I highly suggest to go early in the day. You will not run out of options of what you're going to want to buy, and just have a walk around the endless amounts of streets with vendors selling everything. Restaurants are just endless, but one of my favorites and at a good price is this unique restaurant called Perro Negro, which means black dog, and you can find it on Google Maps, and it is located near the central Zócalo area, and they make a very good pizza that you can see here. This one is small, and it's honestly good enough to serve 2 or 3 people. Yeah! This one in particular had jalapenos stuffed with cheese and split in half with anything else you want desired. Plus, they got these really cool custom-made arcades made out of barrels with all the classic games from back in the day that I'm sure you'll love. Highly recommend trying pulque, which pulque is an ancient drink by the Aztecs. A drink that's fermented from the agave plant, the same plant that tequila is made out of, and then it's mixed with a variety of different options of either fruits or vegetables, but it is very good. Now, to start things off right at night in Mexico City, I highly recommend going to a lucha libre event, not just for the entertainment of the wrestling, but just people watching and hearing the fans. It is a great start to a night out, as you can see here. One of my favorite night venues, not just here, but everywhere that I've traveled to, is Patrick Miller, only open on Fridays. This place just attracts a variety of different crowds, from young to tourists to older people. And if out and about in the nightlife of Mexico City, you are most likely gonna run into this man carrying this strapped on little electrical box with two handles to a game that's called toques, which means shocks. And basically, you get the idea. He cranks up the box, and if you're holding it, well, obviously you're gonna get shocked. And the point of the game is how long can you hold it as he turns up the voltage. Yes, it's fun to see and definitely a unique experience if you're willing to try. One of the more unique taco places out of so many taco places in the capital of tacos in the world, here in Mexico City, is this place in particular. El Vilcito, which is by daytime a mechanic shop of foreign and domestic vehicles, but by nighttime those cars and mechanic shop is closed down and converted into a taco shop. And the food is just delicious and jam packed. You will not regret coming here. And for a more unique place or exotic would be here at Los Cucuyos, which this little window taco shop, or you can dine in, is gonna have a variety of exotic meats, everything from tongue to eyeball to cheeks.
Shit just went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick.
You name it, and they most likely have it. And I'm not gonna lie, it's delicious. Try out the head, or the eyeball, or the guts. I recommend it if you're up for the challenge. Comment below. And if you happen to be staying in the historical town of La Roma, or nearby or willing to transport early in the morning, because there will be a line for this corner vendor named La Güera, which means the blondie, and she's been making tortas, which are sandwiches out of chilaquiles, which chilaquiles is tortilla chips and drenched in red or green sauce. And this is mixed with another meat of your choice. And her sandwiches, which is the recipe, is so delicious. I highly recommend going there early. There will be a line, and she is sold out and closed by 11 or 12 o'clock the latest in the afternoon. You must check out. And if you happen to be a Halloween lover, you cannot go without enjoying your time if you are here in November, which is called Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, where if you are a Halloween lover, I'm sure you've heard of this before, which is different from Halloween, but very similar as far as the costume and makeup goes. But the celebration of past loved ones is highly celebrated all throughout the country, but especially here, as you can see, in Mexico City. I highly recommend. It's always in the beginning of November, 1 through the 4th, and you will love it. To get a great look of the past history of not just ancient Mexico City, but all of Mexico as a whole and their history, you cannot visit Mexico City without visiting the archaeological museum that you see here. You will find endless and endless amounts of stones, pottery, jewelry, and other artifacts that have been found throughout the country of Mexico. If you do plan, I highly recommend going early, and if you really want to investigate and check it all out, it will take a full day of walking and looking at everything they have to offer. It truly is an amazing experience to come to this museum. Definitely when walking in the Zocalo area in the central downtown Mexico, you will not miss the ancient Aztecs who are out there not only selling handmade jewelry but offering spiritual cleansing, which cleans out bad energies, and honestly you do kind of feel great right after. You Also nearby the Zocalo area, you cannot miss the street performers playing their musical instruments. The walking the streets would not be the same without them. So make sure to check them out and tip them to keep it going. And just a couple blocks away from the central Zocalo area is the famous building Torre Latino, which at one point was the tallest building in Latin America, which you can get an elevator ride to the top and have an amazing view of Mexico City. Also, another historical point, which is right in the Zocalo, actually built over what was once known as the capital of the Aztec city, Tenochtitlan, which you can still see a piece of if you head to the northeast corner. You will see an entranceway and can walk through and check out a museum also, but it is very fascinating. And since all this walking is going on, make sure to stop by and support a shoe cleaner and get your boots or shoes cleaned or shined by one of the shoe cleaners that you'll see stands spread out through the Zocalo area. You definitely cannot go to Mexico without seeing the Angel of Independence, which is the iconic statue of Mexico City. And in the same area, you're able to catch the tour buses that can actually get you to a lot more landmark points than I'm gonna be presenting you in this video, but you should definitely try taking a tour on one of these buses.
I can relate to that.
For a more fancy breakfast, which is in the Zocalo area, just a block or two away from the central, is the House of Tiles. You can get some very fancy food upstairs, which downstairs is a type of shopping center. But not only is the building antique with its own history that you will be able to learn while there, but the food is just traditional and amazingly tasteful.
My nigga.
Now, for a bit outside of the Mexico City metropolitan area, you can take a ride down to Coyoacán, which is the famous artist Frida Kahlo and her husband Diego Rivera resided in. This town has its own unique vibe, day or night, and there's endless options to do there. And I definitely recommend going to this market, which is the Coyoacán market, and definitely check out the most amazing and much variety of options of tostadas served here. A unique landmark that maybe if you've already visited, you just might have walked by this train exit, which is downstairs off of Pino Suarez Street near the Zocalo area. You would have seen a small pyramid from Hectal, which is a small temple shrine that was found while constructing this underground subway terminal. How can you go to Mexico City and not visit its famous Teotihuacan pyramid? This is a must thing to do also, which I'm gonna advise bringing an umbrella, because out of the 5 times I've been there throughout different parts of the year, no matter what, it's hot. But it is well worth going to these ancient pyramids that are mistaken for the Aztecs building them, which is not the case. But instead, when the Aztecs arrived to this region, they had been abandoned for over 1,000 years. So it is a mystery to who built these pyramids, but it is a must see with your own eyes, and it is amazing as well. Another iconic landmark when in downtown Zocalo area, you have probably might have seen this before, but it is the Bellas Artes building. A beautiful building which is a museum that holds some amazing art, but most notably for Diego Rivera's giant paintings of political and socialism, which is another high recommendation and must do if in Mexico City. Directly across from here would be Mexico's own Chinatown called Barrio Chino, which is a delightful small walkthrough, and you will not run out of tasteful options and goodies to try out. Well, I hope you guys liked my unique list for a Mexico City trip. There is more than enough to do in this video alone, which is a part 1, because I will be back and there is insanely amount of things to do in Mexico City and its surrounding neighborhoods. So subscribe and like so you don't miss part 2.
I love you for infinity.
Even if you are not ready for the day,